There we go.
There we are. Hello, everybody.
Is that high enough?
I think so.
There we go. My head's cut off.
Oh, that's okay. Bend down a little.
Alright, hi everybody. Sorry.
Okay, everybody's having a great Wednesday.
Today's
I
Wednesday.
know. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Beautiful day outside, sunny. It was 76.
Like
Just perfect weather. It's going to get up into the 80s Saturday and Sunday.
Is there rain? Because I heard rain, I thought, on the news.
Well, it says, but it's only a 45% chance for Tuesday.
Oh.
So who knows? That when it's like that comes and goes, and so who knows? But next few days anyway are going to be they're sunny, maybe a few clouds, but that's okay. Nice weather.
No, it's pretty out. So nice. Oh wow,
yeah,
I got
it's
this
been
weird
beautiful
hair
today.
thing going. We were working in the garden. We added the chicken manure.
Okay.
I came home and she's all, I looked up using cat manure in your
I could've
garden,
sworn
and I'm
that's
all,
what you said.
cat manure? I said, you can't use cat anything. And she's
I
like,
said,
well,
I
that's
know.
what I'm telling you. And I'm like,
I was
chicken
really
poop,
worried.
Ma, chicken poop. Yeah. So yeah, we're using chicken and poop and cow poop. And they have it there. See? Chicken poop. And see, that's what it says right there. Yep. Chicken manure.
Okie dokie.
So now it's approved. We're okay.
All right, I feel much better.
You'll eat the
'cause I wasn't
tomatoes.
gonna eat
You
the
weren't going to
vegetables.
eat any of our vegetables.
I sure wasn't. I was going to let you guys eat them and get sick. Not me. I just wasn't going to eat them. But now I will. All right, so today we're talking about Exodus.
Exodus, the second book of the Old Testament, also part of the Pentateuch. It's like Pikachu.
I know.
I always want to say that.
Yes.
I said it when I was teaching the Pentateuch. And basically it's Exodus is being called as God's deliverance and the establishment of his covenant.
There's a lot in Exodus.
So it says, this was interesting. It says, generally thought to have been written during, oh no, that's just when it was written. So basically it's the narrative of Israel's oppression in Egypt. It's the call of Moses, the plagues, and the Exodus. It's the giving of the law at Mount Sinai, including the Ten Commandments. You got the burning bush. You got instructions for building a tabernacle. The establishment of worship practices. We have in here, it says that God's power to free his people from oppression. The importance of trusting and obeying God's commands because of everything that was given. And then the guidance of the Israelites by God through Moses, the plagues, and the pillar of cloud and fire. Isn't that also and is it that the salt? No.
No, the pillar of salt is in Genesis.
Genesis.
That's why I was kind of looking at it.
That's why I couldn't remember which one it was. It says that the Passover lamb represents salvation and deliverance from judgment. Its blood protects the Israelites from death, foreshadowing Jesus as the ultimate Passover lamb.
If you remember when you studied Passover, at the time, that's exactly what it was. That's when Moses says, Pharaoh had finally said that the Israelites could leave. But then he hardened his heart again and he wasn't sure and he wasn't going to let them go. And so God said, okay, here's what you're going to do. All of the Israelites, he was given very specific rules on how to cook the food, the lamb and everything else and what to do. And they were to take some of the blood and put it on each side of the door and the doorpost, the door jamb. And that way the angel of death would pass over their house and not kill the firstborn.
Yeah.
And so that's where Passover comes from. Very, very, very important.
And that's where it says that where the blood protects them.
Yes.
The plagues That's what it symbolizes, God's judgment against Egypt's false gods and their oppression of the Israelites, showcasing his power and authority. They also foreshadow the Passover, emphasizing themes of deliverance and redemption. The tabernacle, which is represents God's presence among his people, and a covenant relationship emphasizing holiness and worship. There's a lot. I mean, Exodus is the parting of the Red Sea. Yeah, Moses doing just
The death of Moses.
everything. Moses was chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Pharaoh was the ruler of Egypt who resists Moses. And then you have Aaron and Miriam, which is Moses' siblings. And you also have the people who are freed from Israel.
Right. You have.
Or from slavery. The Israelites. So they're also released from slavery. There's a lot. Those are just kind of like the original. It says in here the original audience was the Israelites.
Right.
Newly freed from slavery and receiving God's laws and instructions for living as his covenant people. Understanding this context helps us in interpreting the laws and instructions as foundational to the Jewish faith and communal identity.
It's also where you get, this is where after they escaped from Egypt, or not Egypt, from,
That's the deliverance of freedom.
yeah, after they escaped and they went through the Red Sea and the whole thing, and they're starting to go through, and now they're wandering, and it's where, if you remember, Moses goes up on the Mount Sinai, he gets the tablets, and the Jewish people, they're all upset, the Israelites, it's like he's been gone so long, we have no food, we have no water, and just a whole big old mess stuff and everything. And because of what they did, that's why God punished them, and they had to roam through the deserts for 40 years.
We've got 40.
Yes. And he did provide food for them. He gave them manna.
But they got.
So they had
They were
enough.
questioning God's purpose
Right.
and why was Moses gone so long?
And why did God let us leave if you were just going to come here and die in the desert?
Which they didn't.
So he provided food for them. They had manna in the morning and I think it was quail at night. And they would gather up everything that they could eat that day. But they couldn't keep any to go overnight, because if they did, it would spoil. So God just showed,
Well,
listen, you got to do what I tell you. I told you what to do. You didn't do it. Now I'm going to punish you, but I'm still going to take care of you.
and then the way we can do all this is, just like it says, trust in God's plan. Like the Israelites, the believers are encouraged to trust God's plan. Even in difficult times,
You got to trust.
obedience to God's commands. Following the moral and ethical guidelines from Exodus helps in living a life that aligns with God's will, which we have the 10 Commandments. Value of deliverance. We recognize the significance of spiritual deliverance and freedom in the Christian life. Exodus gives us a lot of all of our, like it says, it kind of sets everything up for our way that we have our faith and how we're supposed to have our laws and the commandments. And it establishes basically the starting of how we have everything. So Exodus is full of all of our laws.
It's a whole lot of stuff in
The
Exodus.
first 5 books of the Bible basically are all setting down our laws, how we do things, how we prepare things, and how God's getting everything set up for it to continue, and then it evolves into, obviously, Jesus coming in. But this is like the first 5 books is so much to read through, because it has the lineage, it has all the timelines, and it has so much of the stuff that you try to read through it and you'll get lost. So,
but it's, when you realize as you go through and you study things more and everything, you realize that so much of what's in the Old Testament is what the New Testament is all about, because it's going back and it's the fulfillment of God's promises. So
that is the basic lowdown on Exodus.
Big book. Lots of stuff in there.
Yeah, there's you know, and
Yeah.
but it's just to kind of just break it down to the main parts. You
Yeah.
know, like where we have things, where things come from. If you have any other things, you guys can start. We started at Exodus 1 through 18 is the narrative and the call of Moses into the plagues and everything. Exodus 19 through 24 is where we're getting the law of Mount Sinai, including our 10 commandments. And also then you have Exodus 25 through 40, which is, again, instructions on how to build the tabernacle and how to get everything, and establishes our worship practices. So again, Exodus is all about setting up everything, and we get all of our stuff.
Lots
So
of stuff.
there you go.
All
That's
right.
kind of the breakdown and the breakdown and the lowdown on Exodus.
That's Exodus.
Basically, you guys,
All right.
God's already telling us that y'all just gotta trust. And if you read my prayer, that was really my prayer, and yes, I was able to, and God did just take it away from me, and I gave it to Him, and
Yep.
everything's wonderful. It makes
it all
so much better. So, you guys have a good day. Tomorrow is Leviticus, and this is Exodus, Leviticus. Yep, Leviticus. And we'll find out. Leviticus is.
Yeah.
We'll
More
see
stuff,
what
but
we'll see.
what it says.
We'll break
All
it
right.
down into easier.
Yeah.
But we'll say thank you.
All
And
right. Here we go.
those 3 words that we need to say more than once a day, y'all. Thank
you,
you, Jesus. Amen. God bless you. Sorry, I was eating while I was feeding my dog, so she wouldn't bark.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening, sweet dreams, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
God doesn't close, y'all. If you're having a problem, give it to Him. Blessings.